Alex, we were in a group chat a couple days ago, and you had some very, you know, passionate things to say about certain, what quote unquote governance token masquerading as DAOs, and I see this a lot of times, speaking to founders about their tokenization needs. A lot of them will be like, "Oh, we're just do a governance token," and so maybe running me through as someone, you guys are both founded and managing DAOs. Like, where does the line between, like a real DAO with a real need for governance token with a real use case versus uh, a masquerading coin that's just there for pump number go up technology only?
Uh, I'll try and be brief because I know Anton's got a great take on this as well. So when it comes to like a token with no utility versus a token that actually controls a DAO, if you look at every L2 on Ethereum, it's a prime example of a useless governance token. There is no direct correlation between the L2 tokens for Ethereum and the L2 itself, not in gas fees, not in governance, not in the treasury. And that's been evidenced in you pay your gas fees in ETH. There's no decentralized node network. There's no decentralized sequencers. There's no decentralized treasury. You don't vote directly. You basically, and that's been highlighted twice with Arbitrum, where they did a vote of what to do with the Arbitrum's treasury funds. The token holders voted one way, and then the foundation was like, "Yeah, we don't really like that. We're going to do something else." So that's a prime example. Not to throw shade against multi-billion-dollar organizations, but that's a prime example of a token that does not fit the aspects of a DAO. If you look at what we built with Maven Finance, which will launch on Mavryk's L1, we did the hard part of building a DAO. Really, Anton, I'd love for you to dive into it, or just grab coffee or beers one day and go over it. But so Maven Finance, not to shill our own product, but obviously I know it intimately, is basically a co-op bank that is owned and operated by its token holders. Everything, it doesn't rely on, everyone wants to own your token, but nobody wants to vote. So we created a delegated representative form of governance. You stake the token, you give your voting rights, not the token, just the voting rights, to what we call a satellite. The satellites are like a decentralized board of directors. That decentralized board of directors votes on everything within the application, which includes the business logic, upgrades to new smart contracts. So we've upgradable contracts, new deployments of code. It controls a decentralized treasury. We don't get paid as a dev team from this application. The DAO itself has to vote to pay us to do updates to it. The satellites, this decentralized board of directors, also signs all the price feeds for a decentralized Oracle. So all the price feed information, all the business logic, like it is owned and operated by the token holders. You can run a satellite if you have enough tokens, and essentially that's where a token is fully built into the global operation of the application. Where again, to juxtapose that against the L2s on Ethereum, there's no use of smart contracts to do anything. You're trading the speculative hype of the layer. You're not building a DAO that is an organization. That's a major highlight of the difference between the two things. Anton, you've preceded us in doing this with us with Asset DAO, so your take.
Yeah, my take. Most DAOs are complete bullshit. That's my take, actually. And the bullshit part is the D part, So this is the decentralized part.
And the A part as well.
And the O part, they're all the three facets of bullshit. Yeah.
I'm glad somebody grabbed one letter from each of us, and said, and look, Alex said it so perfectly. Let's just be honest. Most of the DAOs are actually a money grab because there's a big treasury. And then when there's a big treasury, there's a fight for power. And then it really just conflicts with the whole nature and the vision of a DAO. So this is basically what happens. I love the quote or something actually that the guy from MakerDAO said, when they were deciding where they're going to deploy their massive reserves, in which asset, he said, do we really want to let people who don't know anything to vote, And I like how he said it, because he first said that people have no clue what they're voting on, So first he said, you're actually not competent according to my assessment, to vote. Hence, why would I even let you vote? Look, I think it's actually, it's a bit of, I made it like a bit sound a bit funny, but it's a powerful statement actually, because he kind of flagged that indeed, you need to have the right people at the right places to make the right decision with the right oversight, right? So I'm always reflecting like how to do the best possible way. And I tell you openly, it's not a clear answer. And I have seen this also with Swiss Asset DAO, is like, how do you manage decisions in a transparent way? We all have the same goal. I want to do what's best for the DAO. This is my inherent value. I want to do what's best for the DAO. It's what's best for the ecosystem, what's best for the crypto community. And I would like to make the best decision, but I have the, behind me, the oversight of the community. And to be honest, I think it's not a clear-cut answer how to deal with that at the moment. I think I love the approach that Alex has. So Alex, you're a true pioneer. You're really, at the forefront, really breaking grounds, and you're a big inspiration. And look, but it's openly, it's a work in progress, to be honest. But it's a work in progress. On the other side, you have more than $12,000 managing billions. So what the hell are we talking about here? So we're kind of in the exactly so
and
DAOs,
balloons, DAOs and balloons, yeah.
Ows or O's or nothing, so blanks,
Yeah.
So look, it's a big responsibility. Let's make it happen. Number of DAOs is just growing. It's not going to stop. It's here to stay. It's one of the biggest innovations of the crypto industry. So what the heck are we doing? Let's make it happen in the right way. And I throw
Anton,
the thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, you said something that was music to my ears. One, I mean, to hear that from you, who's pioneered it before us, even means a lot. But also, it's funny that you brought up that about Maker, because it's interesting. Most people aren't actually proficient at making decisions on these things, and that's why delegated representation is such a good idea. Like, your opinion matters, but if you don't have the knowledge base to form that opinion, then you should give it to someone more expertise than you. It's what you should do really in anything in life. If you don't know enough about something, then you should take advice from someone more experienced. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't count them, though. So when you brought that up, we actually used MakerDAO as an example of why we wanted to use delegated representation for the voting mechanism for Maven, where simply because on MakerDAO, when you vote with Maker, with MKR, their governance token, it's direct voting. So the problem is that everybody wanted to own their token, but nobody wanted to actually vote, and you ended up having votes on MakerDAO that didn't go through because no one bothered to vote. So essentially, we did that differently, where you get to stake your token, you own it, you have all your same rights. Colin, it does sound like a board, but it's digitized in a whole new way. And that's how we formulated the MVN token in Maven Finance. But then Maker, there's something a bit about decentralization that I want to get to really quickly before we go, is that Maker has something called the endgame. And someone brought it up to us last week. And then reading through MakerDAO's endgame, everybody says decentralization is a spectrum. Oh, Solana will become more decentralized when it goes to mainnet, or we will give power to those other people. And it kind of sounds like, you get these dictatorships, and Solana's doing a good job. So, I've got a lot of faith there, but you get these blockchains are economies, like a nation state economy, and there's a blockchain economy. They're mini economies in their own rights. And when someone comes and says, we will give you decentralization down the line, we will abdicate power, how many rulers have actually abdicated power in government, right? Like, all they do is overreach all the time. It's, power is corrupting. But MakerDAO's endgame is where we're starting, is our starting point for Maven and Mavryk. So it's really interesting to see is that we did the hard part of building a DAO, the hard part of building a blockchain economy in terms of the technical prowess. And now it's time to get those RWAs on board, which is a full circle back to even why we're here for the call.